Hello and welcome to yet another YouTube video here on this channel. In today's video, we are diving into two updates, like two of the biggest applications in productivity. Second Brain are having huge updates or have released huge updates. We are talking about Obsidian with bases and Notion with offline. I have touched on Obsidian bases before, so I will try to go quickly over them and talk a little bit about what they mean for the applications, but also for the productivity space in general. So let's jump into Obsidian first. So here you actually have the Obsidian bases, and I can just go ahead and delete this and create a new one. So you can click delete and then right click here to create a new base. So now we have bases, canvas, folder, and note, and I'm going to create a new base. So this is a database right here. I can add properties. So file backlinks, for example, this is an interesting one. So you can see how things are linked together. You can see the folders, you can see file full name. So there are a bunch of things you can do. File embeds, for example, created time. So a bunch of things you can add here. You can also filter this because currently this actually shows me all of the notes I have inside of Obsidian. In my case, there isn't many, it's only 49. But you can filter using this filter button right here, where you can change this to file name, file base name, created time. There are a bunch of things you can choose from, and it also works if you have used front matter in your notes, so it works with that as well. I know a lot of people who use that. I haven't used that, but I have used it actually maybe a little. Uh, so like my tags here. Anyways, back to the point. You can filter things. That is the point here. But when you first start, it actually uses all of your notes inside of your Obsidian wall. That is the default here, and then you will have to filter, and you can choose to filter between this view or all views. You can also sort it, of course. So we can actually create a new view here as well. I have done it before, but if I press add new and I do cards, you actually get a card view. And here I can change the image aspect ratio. This won't actually change anything because I do not have an image inside of my notes, at least not most of my notes. Here I can change the image property, I can change the card sizes, I can change the layout as I said, and I can give this a new name. So let's do card card layout. This is great for things like book notes, if you have a lot of design inspo, if you have images, things like that. I like this visual way of looking at it. So that is basically how this works, and here you can see it again. Obsidian isn't something I'm using, so I don't have a lot of notes. There are great tutorials on how you can use Obsidian bases, but I think this is super, super important because there has been like a lot of new second brain applications and personal productivity apps that actually do a lot of the same stuff at Obsidian. They're not exactly the same, but they do a lot of the same stuff, and many of them have databases. Like an example is Anytype, another one is Capacities. Again, different, but sort of the same. Especially Anytype is quite similar. So basically, Obsidian at some point needed to add this, but what I really love about it is the fact that when you do it like this, when you do it where it starts off with all of your results, you actually get to a point where you're like building this database bottom up instead of top down, which you would do in something like Notion. So I think this is a super, super interesting update. This will probably continue, or they will probably continue to work on this, and it will become just better and better and better. But I like it initially. I think it is a really good update, and I think this pushes Obsidian, or it makes Obsidian more of a choice when it comes to like pro- project management stuff, or even in some cases like more visual book notes, for example. But especially the project management stuff, I think this can help Obsidian become more of a choice for that. So this whole productivity, personal productivity space is getting really competitive. So it makes a lot of sense that Obsidian is adding this. And the other thing I wanted to show you was Notion's offline mode. So basically how this looks is that you have this available offline button and you can turn your pages offline. That is basically it. There are other things as well in this update, but I just wanted to focus on the offline mode. And again, this is super, super important because it has been so annoying not having offline mode in Notion. A lot of people rely completely on Notion for their whole life. They have a life operating system, as many people call them, and it let me just put it as it is. It sucks to not be able to access those things if you're on a plane, if you have bad internet connection, if you're traveling. Because in many cases, whenever I'm traveling, and I had this experience recently, it wasn't with Notion, it was with another application, but it did not have an offline mode, which meant that I would actually have to change applications or not be able to access my note during my flight. So that is super annoying. And I also like the way they've done it. Like, the issue with offline mode in Notion, first of all, probably one of the issues was just the way the application was built. They probably had to do a lot of work to get this to happen. But that was the first issue. The second issue is that a lot of people have a lot of stuff inside of Notion, and if you would like download your entire knowledge base, a lot of people would run into storage issues, for example, because things like images and files are something a lot of people add to Notion. A lot of people add like attachments to their notes. So having this available offline button which you can press for specific pages, I think that is a good way of doing it. It allows for people to decide for themselves selves instead of like pushing the offline onto you, because a lot of applications do that. They just give you offline mode, and there is no way of stopping this offline mode, which means that if the application is image heavy, you often end up with storage issues. That has been one of the like issues I've had with offline applications since I store a lot of images and I often cheap out on my mobile devices and end up paying for the least amount of storage. I often have that issue. I know most people don't, but uh, basically my point here is that I like the way they have done it. So you can also toggle this on and off depending on whether or not you need it. So I think that covers like these two updates and why they are important and what I like about the general idea of them. There isn't much to say about tutorials here because Obsidian bases, there are a lot of great tutorials out already. Available offline is one button. You will probably be able to press it without me having to go through a tutorial or show you a tutorial. But I think that covers it for today's video. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them down below. I will try to get to them as soon as I can. Thank you so much for watching today's video.